How can we have a healthy work-life balance? By simply creating space. Been looking a lot into the gene keys lately, and I have gene key 10 in my human design chart, and it is naturalness. Being is the CD, is the attainment, which is a very interesting thing because we go on this journey of self-identity. Because many of us have been entrained to not be ourselves, trying to obey all of the rules, or creating a codependent comfort for others, or for ourselves in many ways. So once we become aware of it, we start to do something about it, which usually means I need to take a moment and be really introspective and try to identify what is real for me. What does self-love look like? What is my natural state, not the normal way I try to fit into society, but what is really natural? And then the longer and harder you look, you ask this question, right? Who am I? Who am I? Letting go of the externals, in my case, right? Male identifying of African descent, near 40 years old, musician, letting go of all of those things that we normally would grapple onto, until you get to a space where you recognize what is the meta-awareness behind everything I experience, and is that me? And the deeper and deeper you look, the more you surrender into a space of open presence and witnessing. There's a place where you realize our interconnectedness, our oneness. And from that vantage point, you can experience your empathy with amount of power, not victimhood, by choosing how you want to show up. And this is where you get into a space of naturalness, right? Like, oh, this is just kind of natural. I'm in the flow. I'm not thinking. I'm not efforting. And beyond that naturalness, you get to a state of being where you can just rest in who you are without the efforting of needing to prove who I am, or even know who I am. Because there is the still calm knowing of nature, right? And when we return to our true nature, we recognize that we are a part of it and not separate from it. It's only when we attach to things around us and I identify with them, the illusion, that we lose sight of that truth. So your question, a healthy life, personal life, work balance, I think it's important to realize that your doings are not your being. And that in everything you do, it's more important how you do it than what you do. So as you're working, can you tap into a state of deep presence? Can you step into a naturalness of who you are? Can you relax your body as you're doing a task that wasn't something that you preferred on this day, but it was necessary? When you realize that power, balance is always available within you. This is the gift of mindfulness. This is the gift of presence. This is the gift of the practice. To be present to what you're doing without losing yourself in the doing, in the environment and everything that's happening around you and everything you're responsible for to that day. Because what happens is we project those insecurities that were projected onto us when we were younger. Am I doing it right? Am I good enough? Is this okay? Insecurities of the hierarchy of the facilitation of your work, or of your family, or of your relationship dynamics, if there is one, or the things that come up. But if you tune into the breath, you realize, oh, that's just me creating holograms and placing it on top of reality and deciding it means that I am lesser than, when in reality, there is a still, calm knowing, just like these beautiful, tall trees behind me. And they just stand and catch light when light shines, and stand in the shadow and enjoy the reprieve from the radiant sun, and collect water and collect carbon in the air, and they're just in a state of being, flowing with each and every moment as it comes, without needing to change or rearrange a thing, because there is a knowing that all is well. When you're present, you can free yourself from the attachments. So, healthy work-life balance. I think it's about healthy moment, doing, being balance in everything that you do. Can you connect to your breath and show up with spaciousness, openness, compassion at your work and at your home, and thus not be drained by the day because you are in a state of resistance to everything that happened? That's where the real drain comes, is doing things with so much resistance and disconnection that you feel you have to get away from that reality to be connected. When the underlying truth is that you were just choosing a state of restraint. It's usually unconscious, it's not intentional, it's not nefarious, it doesn't have a malintent. It's just an unconscious pattern that many of us can sink into because that is normalized in our world. So, work-life balance, that's a very interesting statement within itself, because within that is the illusion of division and partition, as if the role you play to earn so that you can meet your responsibilities in this life is separate from your life, when in fact you spend a majority of your waking hours doing it, right? 40 hours a week, how much time commuting, how much time outside of the job thinking about the goings and the comings and the responsibilities and what happened, what should have happened, and we spend so much of our energy there, understandably so in the way our modern society is constructed. But what does that really say about what we're choosing consciously and our agency and our self-sovereignty, right? It shows how many of us show up to our life with victim consciousness, and we partition things in such a way. Well, I do this for the man, for the boss, for everyone else. But in reality, there is a reciprocal exchange. You're also doing it for yourself because you need the wages. And you chose this job, even if it wasn't from a list of all of your ideal opportunities. It was still a choosing, right? It was a co-creation. So being present to that fully and saying, so is this moment too a co-creation. I'm here now, I have breath in my body. We know a lot of beautiful souls are suffering. Some are being killed in the Middle East for simply trying to share their stories. Natural disasters, climate change is having an impact in parts of the world we never thought we'd see it, like Asheville, North Carolina. I say this to highlight our impermanence. I say this to highlight the unpredictabilities of life, to turn us back towards our presence, our capacity, and noticing how when we are in a state of victimhood, we can forget, or believe rather, that we don't have the power to change how we experience our lives. Even if the external circumstances aren't changing, still the same job, still the same house, still the same relationship. But you change, right? That is our power. So tapping into this gift of being face value, it sounds kind of silly, but at its depths, it is the liberator. It is liberation that's available in every moment. Hello, friend. The bees are very alive right now in this space. Bees are signs of limitless potential, abundance. The bee's buzz, the bzzz, is used in many Eastern traditions to calm and bring you back down into your body. So when you're talking about work-life balance, I encourage you to connect to your breath, tap in, get curious about what state am I in, what state of being, or some would say being state, am I in? Am I in a state of resistance? You don't even have to name the emotion. Am I in resistance to this moment? Or am I available to this moment? Am I present to my power? Or have I chosen my shadow? And then once you are aware, think about what state you'd like to be in. With a conscious breath, in just a moment, you can alter your state to align and build coherence within yourself. If you can do it for one breath, you can do it for two. And if you can do it for two, you can do it for four. And if you can do it for four, you can do it for more. But it is a conscious choosing. A conscious choosing. A conscious choosing. So if you're balanced in this moment as you move throughout your work, there is an inner liberation that happens that opens you and makes you available. But if you're in resistance to every moment at your work, if you're in resistance because your triggers are being pushed and pulled, and you're realizing that things own you, not your boss, your unrecognized stories, old pain that you've avoided and been in resistance to. That is unconsciously pushing you and pulling you in different directions. Those are the things that own you. And when you're present to them, you have the opportunity to take ownership back and liberate yourself. Which is why I'm saying when you're at work and you're trying to build balance, balance happens in the moment. By being connected to your state and choosing, what you're doing is entraining your frequency. Neurons that fire and wire together in your brain, releasing those connections and building new connections that align with the state that you want to experience the world in, experience each moment in. Right? Instead of pain, suffering, and victimhood, new patterns of agency, self-sovereignty, inner liberation, inner freedom. It's all possible within a few breaths once you've developed a practice. But if you believe it's impossible, well, for you it always will be. But the bee has come once again to remind us that miracles are possible in any moment. We have a limitless potential. So may we surrender to our limitless nature. May we be a part of our own personal emotional evolution. Because that's what we need to shift. That's at the core of our existence. We are so focused on our intellect of the mind. We are blind to the fact that 95% of our decisions are made from our subconscious, the emotional state of being that we're in. Right? That's why you can love someone in one moment, and if you're tired or hungry, you become irritable. And so everything is irritable, makes you irritated, so you say, when really you're just in a state of irritation. So how else could you experience that world, that person, that moment? First book I read on meditation was called The Miracle of Mindfulness. So simply written in many ways, and so profound once you practice and have the experiential shift of a conscious breath, of stepping into your meta-awareness, of being disconnected, or unattached rather, but very present to what's happening. There's a freedom, a liberation that we can access at any moment with the conscious breath. So when you realize that work is also your life, you simplify and return to the truth. And it's all one thing. Then you become a balancing agent. And not trying to achieve balance like it's out here. It's your body does it naturally when you relax into a state of being and not doing. So, I think there was another question, but I missed it as I was trying to respond to that one. So if there is one more, I will answer one that resonates. And then maybe we'll get into a practice so we don't get lost in the story of how we achieve balance, which also is a distraction from the practice and the experience of being. But rather we partner those two and create mind and heart coherence. Maybe those individuals with those questions have left. So if there isn't another question, then I guess we'll just dive into the practice. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can close your eyes or leave them open. But tune in to how it feels to be in your body with a conscious breath. So settle into your body on your inhale. And as you exhale, settle your body into your seat, into the space you are in, space around you. Another deep breath in. And can you feel the breath as it enters your mouth, your nostrils? Awakening sensation and expanding the lungs and the diaphragm. Being touched by the essence of nature, plants. And as you exhale, feel it moving through you as it is released. As that carbon we let go of, the CO2, is taken in through the stomata of the plants and becomes its body, our oneness, our unison. Always there, often we are not present to it. Another deep breath, and allow this breath to lengthen your spine. Envision the crown of your head being pulled upward by a thread of love as your tailbone is effortlessly anchored into the earth by the force of gravity. Exhaling now into a posture of dignity and peace. Another low belly breath now. And surrender. Let go. Rest in the here and now. Stop resisting. Exhale and arrive right here and now in this present moment. Continuing to breathe at your own pace. Become aware of your body's natural state of being. Become a pure witness to any tension, ease, strength, or tenderness in your physical body. Don't judge it. Just witness it. And with each breath in your witnessing, can you sit back in the seat of your awareness? Put space between you and the object of your awareness, the tension, ease, strength, or tenderness that you are noticing in your body. For some, this may feel easy. For others, you may feel like there is no space between you and it. Whatever you're experiencing is okay. Now, as you are witnessing, offer yourself, your body, nurturing, compassionate awareness. A little tool for self-regulation. It is the equivalent of an energetic hug. If this brings you joy, allow yourself to be joyful. Notice if the body relaxes, the shoulders drop. Just altering your state of being with a little attention, with deep intention. And now relaxed, you can take your left hand, place it over your heart space, really gently. Tune into the energy of your heart. Feel the pulse and rhythm beating in your fingertips. And now breathing into your heart space. Be a witness to your inner realm. Without judgment, shame, blame. Witness the heart. Witness the heart as a work of art. A dynamic confluence of vibration, frequency, radiance, light and shadow, color. And you get to experience it all. What a gift. And now we ask our heart, dear heart, what is your natural state of being? Dear heart, what is your natural state of being? Don't try to answer with the egoic mind, your linear mind. Rest in this present moment awareness, holding space for the heart's response to arise. Just breathe and listen. And as the heart's response comes in, allow yourself to surrender to that state, whatever it might be for you. Allow yourself to experience it now. Maybe allow a half smile to rise on the face to soften any tension. Stay connected to a full body breath in and out. And we'll be right here for just a few minutes breathing and enjoying the heart's state of being. If you're meeting any discomfort in the stillness or silence, or of any thoughts or doubts, meet them with the same state of being, your heart's natural state of being. Don't try to change them or push them away. Relax into this state and witness them as well. Now you can relax your hand in your lap or whatever natural resting position feels comfortable. And in this state of being, we're going to offer a Tonglen blessing to all beings. Tonglen is the practice of giving and receiving. So when you witness someone suffering, you don't have to be a victim to their suffering or their projection, but you can be an agent of love, a receiver and a giver. So we receive the illusion or the shadow or the heaviness, and we give from the heart's natural state of love, compassion, and high frequency presence. To emit. Empathy isn't just a space of receiving, it is also one of giving. And so the blessing is simple. You can repeat this silently to yourself after me. May all beings be free of suffering and the root of all suffering. And may all all beings know happiness and the root of all happiness. May all beings be free of pain and the root of all pain. And may all beings know joy and the root of all joy. May all beings be free of fear and the root of all fear. And may all beings know love and the root of all love. Taking a moment to notice any shifts in your awareness and your state of being. I honor you for showing up for this practice and remembering who you are. Remembering your power. Remembering the miracle of mindfulness. We honor one another. You can take both hands and place the palms together over heart center. The love, light, and truth within me honors the love, light, and truth within you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this practice, for holding space for your heart and all of our hearts. Meditation is something I lead every day in the Beautiful Souls community. If you're interested in joining us for a practice that helps you remember daily, because in the busyness of life, it's easy to get overwhelmed and short-sighted to this truth. You can find more information about the Beautiful Souls community at my website, asoulcalledjoel.com. And let's take a moment to take in the radiant sunshine. That's all of us right now, emitting our natural state of being, aligned within ourselves and aligned with our heart. Be well, beautiful souls. I love you all. We'll see you soon. Much love and light. Peace.